What's up, Ross? What's good with you, man?
Man, hey, today we touched on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it deserved more attention.
Mm-hmm.
This is monumental.
Mm-hmm.
It's very monumental. And we know this is a sports channel. We know this is a boxing channel. So we
Mm-hmm.
try to temper how we came out about it. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, man, we're the black culture at the end of the day. We are the Hebrew culture at the end of the day. And
Mm-hmm.
this is making its rounds around the internet.
Yep. I
I'm on
agree.
TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Instagram. I'm seeing this shit. And this right here, layer by layer,
Mm-hmm.
it's up there. It's up there with the hit 'em ups. It's up there with the who shot shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there with the ethers. It's up there with the
Mm-hmm.
takeovers.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you carefully crafted this. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows said this earlier. He said, if I was Drake, I wouldn't respond.
Nope.
And I agree with him. I don't think Drake's in a position where he cannot respond. But
Mm-hmm.
if I was Drake, I would sit this one out, try to get more artillery, try to
Yep.
get more soldiers,
Yep.
try to get more logistics going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. But you deduced him. You put your Batman cap on and you deduced him well. You know why? Because you said this dude is going to respond. And what did he say on X? He used the word nigga as a way to basically say, I'm still going to use the word. He was like, all right, nigga, we on the clock. Ha 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 ha. So meaning he is going to respond. So he's like, all right, nigga, start your clock. So when somebody says start your clock, that means they're going to respond. And then he goes, ha 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 ha. So it sounds like he's going to respond, man. And you did call that out. You said that's what was going to happen.
Because he put himself in a predicament to where in the interim he has to respond because he was begging Kendrick to respond every day for 10 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
So he's put himself in the predicament that he has to respond. But my music TV was good.
Hey,
And I
salute to
need
you.
y'all to hit three if y'all agree. Y'all gotta
Hit
admit.
motherfucking 3 if y'all agree. We got the cash apps down there. Make sure you guys donate to motivate. Cash money sign, that heat and that fire. Talk to us, Ross.
Y'all gotta admit. This once you break down the lyrics line by line and you internalize everything that's being said, you gotta admit this that Drake did is on the level of. I'm not gonna say it's better, but on the level of no gasoline.
You mean Kendrick's this, not Drake's.
Not Drake's, Kendrick's. It's on the
Yeah.
level of no Vaseline, not no gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
More Vaseline. It's on the level of Ether, on the level of Takeover, on the level
Mm-hmm.
of Hit 'em Up. When you think about
Mm-hmm.
everything this man said, he broke down his fatherhood.
Mm-hmm.
People might say, well, Pusha did that too. Yeah, Pusha did that too, but Drake gave a whole
Kendrick.
5, 6
Kendrick.
bars
Kendrick. You keep
dedicated
saying
to his
Drake.
fatherhood, saying, I don't have the time
Mm-hmm.
to get at you right away, nigga. I'm too busy raising my son. But you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know that.
Yep.
When you tell a man they wouldn't know what a father's supposed to do, you're not
That
just
means you're a
talking
shit.
about,
You ain't even a father. You a shit of a father. You're a shit
bro,
stain of a father.
you're not even talking about them and their child.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to be a father, that means you didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a generation before them, and maybe a generation before them, if they dad didn't have no father. You're
Mm-hmm.
talking about that family tree
Mm-hmm.
from your son to the grandfather or the great grandfather. You're talking about
Mm-hmm.
a segment
Mm-hmm.
of their family tree because you don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to be a father. You sitting here on the internet waiting for me to respond. Nigga, I'm married and got kids.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't know about that.
Oosh.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know about that.
That heat
How
and
could
that
you know about
fire.
that?
Whoosh.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know.
Mm.
These are things that men know about. These men know you put your child before a rap beef. You
Mm-hmm.
make sure your lady straight. You make sure your baby daughter straight. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You call in, talk to your aunt, then you address the rap beef. Niggas know that.
Exactly.
You don't line every day because you got the time to do that because you not being no father.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got time to get on this bitch and be on here all day talking about where you at.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. The man did over 5 million views in just 8 hours. It has broke the records for most views on YouTube and all social media platforms in that span of time. Prior to that record, the previous person who set the record, and shout outs to him, was Cat Williams. And
Facts.
Cat Williams did it earlier this year on Shannon Sharp. But Kendrick came in and obliterated that. So we have to understand his basically viralness is the equivalent of the song Euphoria, because everybody right now is in a state of euphoria. Hit, press 3 if you motherfucking agree. I don't know what cloud of euphoria you're on. You could be on cloud 8, you could be on cloud 9, you could be on cloud 10. Ross said he's on cloud 3. Everybody
No,
is
no,
on
no,
a
no, no,
cloud.
no. And I thought the three so they can press 3. If they agree. And the reason why I'm gonna tell y'all about the science, the reason why I say press 3 if you agree. Mm-hmm. First, I want to make sure y'all paying attention, and you don't have to agree. You could actually type "I don't agree," and then we could pontificate more. But press 3 if you agree, because press the 3 that you agree. Let us know that we actually have a engaging audience. So it lets us know, should we travel down this lane, or should we stay, or should we go? You know what I'm saying? It helps us out. It helps us to know that it's easier when you have an audience that's being engaging. That's why I say press 3 if you agree. You know what I'm saying?
If you motherfucking agree, man.
Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all donate to the Cash Apps. $ Ace Money Chai. Make sure y'all donate to motivate, man. Ross, tell me, how proud are you right now that is over 5 million views in just 8 hours?
I'm proud because for the longest, hip hop has been going down the wrong path. And I told niggas this back when I was in boot camp. Niggas like, why is not that many Chicago niggas rapping? I was like, because the average nigga that's rapping, the average nigga that I want to hear rap has actually got out of the street life and they're into something else. But y'all so locked into street shit, y'all want to hear street niggas. But Chicago is not like New York. The Chicago niggas, that street niggas, gonna bring the street shit into hip hop. They're not gonna be like 50 Cent. 50 Cent was rapping that shit, but he had stopped shooting at niggas and all that shit when he was rapping that shit. Chicago niggas will never stop doing what they doing for hip hop. A real Chicago street nigga, South Side nigga, Lupe is a West Side niggas are cerebral. They're more like Frank. They're more like Franklin Saint. He could be in so many different places at once and know how to adapt. A Southside nigga's gonna be what he think he is, no matter where he goes. In church, he's that way. At the courthouse, he's that way.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Look at King Von. Von, you can't tell him. And then what he'll tell him? Will you tell these girls, take it to the O? That's how I know about take it to the O. I already know what that means.
If King Von was a West Side niggas
that's how they run.
King Von was a West Side nigga, he'll still be alive. Because he would never been operating like that in somebody else's city.
Yeah.
He would never operated that way.
I mean, even Lil Durk has become commercialized, but he's still talking drill shit.
Still talking drill shit. Because that's their identity. West Side niggas hustle out of necessity. Southside niggas hustle because they want that reputation. A West Side nigga gain that reputation and leave that shit for a white collar corporate job. He'll leave all that shit. Like Marlo from The Wire, he'll leave all that shit because he never won that shit to begin with. He just wanted to survive. A Southside nigga will try to act like a hood nigga as a lawyer.
Yep.
They try to beat up other lawyers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a mentality.
It's a mentality.
I say all that.
And where's Kanye West from?
Kanye's from the South Side, but Kanye had a mother who was the highest teacher in Chicago, damn near. If you're the English chairman of Chicago State, you're like the top teacher in Chicago, in Illinois. So his mother was like the highest educator in Illinois State. His father was a Black Panther. He's like an anomaly. And
that South element that you talked about is still present with him because
it's still
for
present.
good or for worse, Kanye is gonna be Kanye.
and it's still present. It's still present to him because he responds to everything with smoke
Yep.
first. Then
Yep.
he
Then he,
dials
yeah.
down
Yep.
and talks. You know what I'm saying? But he
Mm-hmm.
responds to everything with smoke first. You know what I mean? You know, Lorenz Tate is from the West Side because Lorenz Tate is smooth with everything.
Let's just be honest. Pusha T, this is how I look at it. Pusha T was the introduction to you can diss Drake and be dominant over him. He just didn't have the niche. Kanye was the intermediate or the intermediary between the introduction and where Kendrick Lamar is. And the reason why I say he's the intermediary, or how you could say mediator, is because we saw that during the whole Larry Hoover thing. He basically outdid Drake on his own shit. So
Right.
Kendrick was able to have the blueprint of what Pusha T did and also what Kanye did. And he basically used those blueprints along with his versatile variety savvy. And then he basically used that in his Euphoria disc. I
It,
guarantee you he did his homework on how those two guys dismantled Drake, and then he put it in his own variation.
it's great that you brought that up because in the beginning of hip hop, the
Mm-hmm.
battle was it wasn't MC to MC. The battle was who put on the best show.
Mm-hmm.
So Kanye battles in the old school way of hip hop. The traditional way is who makes the best work of art and who puts on the best show.
Mm-hmm.
As far as rappers, everybody knows like as far as if you ever been to Kanye West show, you'll
Mm-hmm.
know that he puts on the best show. Kendrick is
Mm-hmm.
getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick battles in the more new school way. Kumo was it Kumo D
Kumo D. Kumo D.
or Grandmaster Cass. But
Yeah.
anyway, when they came up, they started directly addressing the other MC
Mm-hmm.
and talk about the other MC. That's the more newer way of battling, and
Yep.
that's what Kendrick is doing right now. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, what you just say makes a lot of sense. That he had time to sit back and see what works, what doesn't work,
Mm-hmm. And that's
and
why
then
in his bars he said, "I don't do subliminals. I come at you direct," because
so
that's
he's
him.
so he's coming at him direct, but yet and still he still packages it up and put the show on
Yep.
wax
Yep.
because he knows Drake's fan base. They're addicted to Drake's success and
Mm-hmm.
him being able to say that he's the only one who charts. Now
Mm-hmm.
that Kendrick is charting, not only is Kendrick charting, he's charting while dissing Drake. This is a
Yep.
direct hit to not only Drake but to his fan base.
But it also is a direct to his the fact that you're not the only one that can do this.
Right.
I can do this too.
I could do
So
this.
it's a more of a the saying, anything you can do, I can do better. Like it's to that. It speaks to the volume of that.
And I could do something you can't do because my level of lyricism far surpasses your level of lyricism. That's your
Because it's
best.
substance filled.
That's your best because you can't do all these bars in a row and they all have meaning.
Yep.
You could do 16
Yep.
if you're the one doing it. We don't know,
Yep. Yep.
but I could do 32.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Because he gave him
Uh-huh.
32, and then I could do 32 bars. All have
Uh-huh.
meaning.
Uh-huh.
Easy. I do this shit in my sleep. I'm Kendrick Lamar. You're
Uh-huh.
Drake. We're not the
Uh-huh.
same.
Uh-huh.
So when I can reach almost as many people as you commercially, then on the underground, I could
Uh-huh.
double what you could do at a higher quality.
Uh-huh.
Come on, man. We talking about the lyrical Frank Lucas right now.
Drake in his mind thinks he's a Jay-Z. But see, what you gotta understand is Drake does Jay-Z slickness, but he doesn't have Jay-Z's rap ability and Jay-Z's swag and Jay-Z's ability because Jay-Z has a chokehold on the rap game. Drake don't
And
have a chokehold on the rap game, and Jay-Z is known to be very deep and oriented and metaphorical. So here's the thing: if Drake was Jay-Z and this was Kendrick coming at Jay-Z, it would be a whole different animal. Now Kendrick would have to sit back. He couldn't even have to drop Euphoria because Euphoria would have been too weak for somebody like Jay-Z. He would have to sit back and really wait a minute and then go back and do some homework. His blueprint would have been, okay, let me go talk to Nas and start picking the brain. Like he would have to
Right.
really take the time out and do something that is completely even out of his own character to prepare. He would have to study to show himself approval. But Drake is not Jay-Z. So because of that, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Kendrick can just stay where he's at that 20%. Like I was telling my brother earlier when we was working out at the gym, I said Kendrick is giving him his 20% best, and that's killing him. All he has to do is stay at that 20%, because I don't think anything Drake drops is going to sort of make Kendrick Lamar have to go past 20%. This is like when Earl Spence was dominating guys, right? And he was beating them with the come forward, refined Mexican style of just punishing guys. He didn't have to change shit up. Just keep doing that. Well, guess what? That's what Kendrick is going to be doing all the way through. He's just going to be punishing him. He's going to be very offensive. He's going to parry punches, but he's going to be punishing him because he's going up against an opponent he does not have to worry about, because he knows in his mind, you're not better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody comes into a diss, or they come into a competition, or they come into anything that has to do with going up against somebody, and in their mind they've made up that you're not better than them, that comes with a flex and a swag and a confidence that money can't buy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always going to hit the mark every single time, because you know in your heart of hearts, you know in your mind, this person is not better than you.
Facts. The thing that Jay-Z doesn't get enough credit for, he doesn't get enough credit for being quick with it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are smart, but a lot of people need a whole lot of time.
Yep.
And Jay-Z doesn't need a whole lot of time.
Shout outs to Lifeline Music for sending the $5 cash app.
Salute. Thanks, bro. Jay-Z doesn't need a whole lot of time to give you quality bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it would be a lot different with Jay-Z, because Jay-Z will be able to respond quicker with more potent shit. With Drake doesn't write all his shit. So Drake has to go to the think tank. They got to huddle up. They got to all write bars and take the very best bars, this, and the third. And that's the reason why it's not as potent as a Kendrick. Like I said before on the phone with you earlier today, brother. If I got a beef with somebody, but you my man, and you're addressing this nigga for me, the vitriol not gonna be the same, because you don't have a personal beef with this nigga.
Facts.
You're speaking via me, like, hey, you fuck with my homeboy, it's gonna be a problem.
Yep.
Whereas I would probably have said, hey man, you threaten me or threaten my family, I'm gonna fuck around and kill one of y'all. It's a different vitriol, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick speaking from first person view, because he's writing his shit. Drake is speaking from different points of views that he's piecing together to make this shit. And he's handicapped by his fan base. Because Drake is always trying to look to make a hit at the same time diss somebody. Whereas Kendrick abandoned all of that. It just so happened to be a hit for social media. But Kendrick said, it's just going to be all bars. He dropped all bars, and it did over 5 million in a couple of hours. All bars. So, they not the same. Because for Drake to do that, Drake has to make a smash hit song.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Make sure you guys donate to the Cash App, $ that heat and that fire, or the Cash App, $ Ace Money Chai. We appreciate any donations that you can give to us. Go ahead, Ross. What you were saying?
You know what I'm saying? So what I was saying was, Kendrick, he's had you were in the army. I'm in the military, but I actually did some field work when I was in Guantanamo Bay. You know what the high ground is, right? You got the higher ground, you have the advantage. Because people got to look up. The natural thing to do when you're surveying is to look straight, look down, make sure you don't walk in any mines. The last thing you do is look up. But I got the high ground. I'm watching you the whole time. I got the high ground. You know what I'm saying? Right
Mm-hmm.
now, Kendrick has the high ground.
Yep.
I'm better than you naturally lyrically. You make better songs than me, but this is a hip hop battle. Niggas don't really
Mm-hmm.
people. The thoroughheads don't really give a fuck about the actual song. They care about the actual insults and the bars.
Yep.
Now you got your fan base going to rock with you regardless, but your fan base has no integrity. They're like
Yep.
you.
Yep.
So if the majority of the world starts saying I'm better than you, they'll leave you
Exactly.
because they have no integrity. Because they follow a nigga with no integrity.
You have to understand most people, they're not integrity filled, they're not integrity oriented. Most people, let's be honest, they're motivated by the fact that they can be able to sit there and tell you straight up, minus anything else, they can just tell you straight up, I can flex because I was able to do this or do that, but then there's no substance behind it.
Right.
Drake is the type of person that when he flexes, if you're not a deep oriented person, or you're on the surface type of person, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
catch everything. It's like what we call on surface cleaning. A lot of people clean on the surface. They do surface by cleaning, but the majority of people don't do deep cleaning. So anybody that's a deep cleaner that comes to a place where they only see surface spot cleaning, they'll automatically tell you this place is dirty as fuck. But then you sitting there shaking your head. Why this motherfucker gonna say this dirty as fuck? Because in my naked eye, it looks like it's clean. But them, they don't have a naked eye. They have a naked eye, and then they have what's called a third eye, and they can catch everything. So when we look at Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick Lamar is a deep oriented fashion type of freestylist. And he's a freestylist of the highest degree, the highest order, and the highest magnitude. And on top of that, he is what we call an actual artist, because artists nowadays, everybody's called an artist because they make music. Well, to be an actual artist, you have to be what's called talented. And to have a talent, it has to be something that people can see, that when they see it from you, they see that that is you. There's an identity behind it. See, people think talent is just I could do something good. Any motherfucker can do something good. But when you have something that people can say this is your identity, i.e., this is your brand, i.e., this is your signature, this is something that we know is you unequivocally, without question and without fail, that is what we call a natural born talent. And this is what Kendrick Lamar has. He has a natural born talent. Whereas Drake, it's bravado, it's flex, and it's really a lot of other people that have done a self-grandizing of bringing up what you would think is a false similitude of talent. So
Right.
basically, he is what we would say the appearance of, but lacking the fullness thereof. Because
Right.
you can have a similitude of something, you can look like something, but are you really that?
Right. So I'm about to say something that's gonna be controversial, but I want y'all to press three if y'all agree. And if y'all don't,
Mhm.
comment that y'all don't agree. So Gilly the Kid just said that he thinks Kendrick Lamar release was this was corny. But you gotta always consider the source when somebody speaks.
Exactly.
Gilly the Kid is somebody that's not naturally a African American.
Facts.
He portrays himself as African American, but he's from a whole nother. He's from some country in Africa, and
Mm-hmm.
he don't relate to black people. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You
And
gotta
then
understand.
and then you got to remember he's a Philly nigga. Philly niggas are whack.
Right, you gotta understand another thing. Drake got on some things that would directly offend him.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick told Drake, "You just a Canadian nigga trying to inherit our struggle. You're not really from here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just wherever he's from, trying to inherit the black people struggle.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he probably felt triggered by that.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick got on Drake's fatherhood. He a nigga who sold the soul of his son to get a contract.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? With $1 million worth of game with Barstool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He sacrificed his kid to do that So these bars are probably stinging him for
Yeah.
him to say
And then
that.
on top of that, he's an outsider that represents Philly. And let's be honest, representing Philly has already taken L's from Drake. So you're really speaking from a backseat mindset. Anybody from Philly, I hate that I always have to attack Philly, but Philly's weak, man. So anybody that's repping Philly or have any affiliation with Philly or anything that has to do with Philly, it's weak. It's weak sauce. I'm not saying everybody from Philly is weak, but a lot of representation of Philly is weak as fuck because
They
the
have,
fact that Meek Mill took an L from Drake. So you really are not qualified to be sitting there talking about what a W looks like when the guy who represents your area took an L from Drake.
and this mindset shows the hypocrisy. About 15 years ago, you was going on YouTube every day talking about Lil Wayne and who Lil Wayne say he is because you used to ghost rights for Lil Wayne. But
Mm-hmm.
now you're saying a nigga who everybody ghost writes for is better than a nigga who write their own bars. Now you're being hypocritical of
Yep.
what you stand for altogether. And that's what lets me
Exactly.
know, since you don't sold your soul and then sold the soul of your son to get that deal, you're willing to say anything these white folks want you to say.
Exactly. Because everybody in their right mind knows that every shot that Kendrick Lamar took when he said, "I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm whipping feet." I mean, come on, man. He made Terrence Crawford ain't even nice like that, but he made Terrence Crawford sound like he's the baddest motherfucker in the world because Kendrick Lamar put him on wax, man.
Guess what? I did my research.
Mm,
The whooping feet, whooping feet is a Los Angeles term of
hmm
when a nigga get whooped out their shoes.
Yeah, that's what it means. That's exactly what it means. They get
So,
whooped so bad. They get so whooped so bad. They on their feet.
so when he said the nigga whooping feet, it's because he said I'm knocking niggas out their shoes.
Yeah, I know that term because I've knocked a few guys out who do wrestling with that shit. When you whipping niggas off their feet, that's why that shit hit hard with me because I've done that before in my
Right.
past life. So I know what that shit means. You beat somebody so bad, basically they on their back. They out they fucking shoes, man. They on their feet. So when he used the Terrence Crawford whipping feet, it's because of the fact that he was using the fact that Terrence Crawford just recently had, even though it was a fake fight, he had his biggest fight against Earl Spence, and that propelled him. So he was trying to use that swag from that namesake to then justify a California term. But he put it in together so beautifully, man. And now guess what? Terrence Crawford gonna be trending because Kendrick Lamar put him in a fucking verse.
Press three if y'all agree. Press three if y'all
Press
agree.
3
All
if
right,
you motherfucking agree.
all right. Let me say this.
Mm.
So now, so all Drake fans do is sit up and be his lawyer on Twitter all day. So now
Mm-hmm.
his fans saying that Kendrick Lamar, his verse wasn't that, it was just racist towards biracial people.
Of
But
course.
Kendrick Lamar isn't talking about biracial people or
Mm-hmm.
light skinned people.
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying about Drake is an integrity, morality thing.
Facts.
Nobody has never questioned Ice T.
Exactly.
Nobody has never questioned Busy Bone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of light skinned niggas nobody never questioned. Niggas are
Mm-hmm.
questioning Drake because Drake speaks, his mentality is a white man's mentality.
Facts.
But he wants to use black culture like blackface. He wants to
Mm-hmm.
don black culture when it's convenient, then cascade it when it's not. Have you
Facts.
ever heard Drake talk about black issues?
Mm.
Have you
Mm.
ever?
Mm.
Have you ever heard Drake talk about black issues?
Yep.
What's going on in the black? No, you haven't because he
Never.
don't care.
Never. Never.
He don't see himself as part of our community.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, yes, it sounds weird when he says nigga. It sounds weird when he speaking like he one of the guys. Really, he's just there because he could get these niggas he could give each nigga behind him 5-10 racks, and they satisfied with that. So they let him be in their space. Well, in reality, they want to deal with. If he had no money, he couldn't be there.
Facts.
So yeah, Kendrick Lamar speaking on that, but this has nothing to do with him being biracial. My uncle, my grandmother was white. My grandfather was black on my mother's side. I have an uncle who's half white, half black. Nobody in the hood has never questioned his black card. So he don't carry himself that way. I got Puerto Rican friends, dark as me. I speak to them just like I speak to any other black man. I have never questioned them, never questioned me because we was raised together. And they went through the same thing I went through. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference. It's a difference when you dealing with a nigga like Kendrick Lamar. You dealing with some Europeanized Latino who say nigga to be cool, but don't like black people, but think nigga to say nigga. These are different things. Some people have to be cut off from we shouldn't be saying it ourselves, but what we do and what they do is two different things. Because the average black person don't go around saying the word spit. The average black person don't call Latinos out their name in that way. We don't, you know what I mean? So they don't get the chance. They shouldn't be doing that shit to us if they carry
we don't go out our way every day to say trailer trash. We don't do that.
Right. So they shouldn't be going out their way saying shit when they know they don't relate to the culture. They know they don't relate to the culture. There's Afro Latinos who carry themselves as black people because they look black. They're a part of our culture, and there's people who don't. If you verbalize with your mouth, you don't relate to this culture, then you don't get to act like you're part of the culture.
Facts.
And that's the thing. It's a difference. But they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it into that because they don't know what to do with this Kendrick Lamar diss, man. This shit hit on so many different levels. And it reminds me of one of my conversations when I'm dealing with somebody and they don't know who they're dealing with. Like I tell people, I give a lot of people chances when I'm talking to them because I know the shit I say gonna stick with you and it's gonna hurt and it's gonna sink into you. But it reminds me of one of my conversations when I'm reading somebody their rights, I hit you from so many different angles, telling you about yourself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Telling you about your damn self. And this shit hit Kendrick. This shit hit Drake for so many different angles. Fatherhood, self-identity, sexuality, maturity, right? Pedophilia. This shit hit him for so many different angles. His fan base don't know what to do with it, so all they doing is just making it seem like Drake is what? A victim. And that's the worst thing people could do is look at you as a victim because you already lost.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? What you guys say about that? He goes, press 3 if y'all fucking agree.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Make sure you guys cash out to either the money sign that heat and that fire or money sign Ace Money Chai. Super chats are welcome too, but we prefer cash out. Anyways, my take on it is this. I don't even think Drake is thinking about it like that. I think Drake is doing what LeBron does. He leverages his fan base to basically insulate him. Let me say it again. He uses his fan base to insulate him. When you create a cult-like following, if you need excuses built in to basically protect you, then you're going to use your fan base to insulate you. That's the way it typically works. Drake is at a point in his career where he's gotten so big that his fan base has set it up to where he can't do no wrong. But this right here has put him in a precarious situation to where he has done a lot wrong, actually, because a lot of titles about him were assassinated. He was assassinated as a man. He was assassinated as a father. He was assassinated as an artist. He was assassinated as a rapper, and he's assassinated as an outsider, someone who's from Canada trying to fit in with the United States. So there was a lot of disassociations that happened. And in the mental health field, this is one of those things that Drake is probably going through what we call a mental psychosis right now. That's why his response was, "All right, nigga, start your clock." Ha 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 ha. But if you really look at the bravado or the lack thereof of the bravado of the response, it's a guy that's going through some form of PTSD, some form of post, traumatic disorder, or basically what we would say schizoaffective disorder, where he is traumatized
Mm-hmm.
because he's been hit up on a level in so many ways, both subliminally, direct, strategically. I mean, if you really look at it, this right here is the equivalent of Genghis Khan. And Genghis Khan says, "I am the punishment sent from God."
Right.
If God didn't want you to be punished, he wouldn't have sent me. This was one of those, man. He got punished, and he got punished severely. It was like a punishment from God. Because the thing about it is, people get to a point where they get so high and mighty, they get so prideful, and they get so beside themselves, and then they got to get humbled. There's a scripture that says, those who humble themselves will be exalted, and those who exalt themselves will be humbled.
Could be humble. Yep.
So, in all essence, Drake's been exalting himself so many ways. I mean, look at the rich flex he did with 21 Savage. A lot of bravado, a lot of shit talking, a lot of me, 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 me. This is what I do. This is how I get down. And the chickens have come to roost, like Malcolm X said about JFK. This is one of those moments. The chicken
Mm-hmm.
has come to roost. But the difference is Kendrick Lamar does not have an Elijah Muhammad that can silence him for however long.
Fact.
He's going to keep talking. And in him keep talking, he's going to keep spitting. This is one of those things where Kendrick is in his bag. This is the equivalent of when I diss Get a Mic. Once I've realized that the first diss was received so positively, it gave me a super confidence that I'm just going to keep going. And I could keep going unlimited. Because people have to understand, once you get something that's received positively and it's acclaimed and people feel it, oh, you in your bag now. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're going to keep going. The other person, on the other hand, is playing in a reactive or retraction mindset because they're trying to see if they can do what you just did. And if their get back can be as, what I would say, impactful as yours. So they're playing from a Russian roulette. And if anybody knows anything about Russian roulette, the reason why that's the most scariest card game ever is because there's the thing with Russian roulette, there's a gun that's involved in that game. And in the gun, you have a bullet inside the trigger. And then you have to spin, you have to use the old, Smith and Wesson 357, or you could use the snub nose 36. And you
Salute.
use that. Salute to Marathon 92 for the super chat. You roll it, you go zzz, and it turns, right? So when
Mm-hmm.
you do that, it turns. You're playing a situation where, let's say, if there's 8 in the chamber, you have 7 chances to where you possibly may not die. And here's the thing with Russian roulette: it's the worst kind of way to go because you're taking the gun and you putting it right here. You're not putting it right here. You put it right here. That's a dangerous way to kill yourself because it's coming
Right.
right up on the chin. There's more than likely there's a possibility you're not gonna make it out of that. And right now, Drake, the Euphoria disc is the equivalent of Russian roulette. It's a gun right here, up under his chin, and he doesn't know how to respond to that. So right now, he's sweating bullets as he's pulling the trigger, wondering if that trigger that he pulls, if there's a bullet that's associated behind it.
Right.
But unfortunately for him, when he does pull the trigger, he's going to find that there's a bullet there and he's not going to make it. So this is why it is in his best interest and it behooves him to not fucking respond.
Hey, everybody in the chat, don't wait until we tell you to press 3 to press it. Whenever you hear something that you fuck with, you agree with, press 3.
Exactly.
Whenever you hear it, press 3. Don't wait till we tell you. Whenever you hear it, press 3. And yeah, you're right. It's over for Drake and Brian. And it's crazy that it's happening simultaneously because their careers have been symbiotic.
Yep.
Nike and Sprite has commercialized and promoted these guys together. They've always been frauds. They've never been as good as people say they were. They were never the real deal. And guess who's exposing that? Like Kanye, like Kobe exposed Bron by going to back-to-back championships and beating the teams that put Bron out of the playoffs. Guess who's exposing Drake? Kobe.
Yep.
It's poetic, man. It's poetic at the end of the day.
And guess what? It's over for Drake and Bron. Low, because let's be honest, LeBron James is the Drake of basketball, and Drake is the LeBron James of rap. Because these guys, they hide behind the shield and the protection of their fan base. And they don't do anything that's memorable, and they don't do anything that's historically filled. What they do is a nuanced thing that hits for that moment. Nobody's gonna tell you when they listen to a Drake song, man, even if it's a hit that they like, you have to actually play the hit for them to be like, oh yeah, I remember that hit. But guys like Kendrick, guys like Tupac, when you're someone that goes into a jukebox or you go to a place and you're talking to a DJ, first thing you want to tell that DJ, man, hey, play the swimming pools. You know what I'm saying? You'll tell them that, or play Damn. Like, they know the track to play that's going to get people going. Play Hit 'Em Up. These are what you call timeless music that people remember off the top of their heads that has an impact. It's not just a hit. It's basically something that is nostalgic.
Right.
And Drake doesn't have nostalgic music. He just have hits.
Right. Substance.
Exactly.
Substance. Because it's to the point where you kind of have to listen to Drake in the club for it to make sense. Very few people play Drake at the house and listen to the whole album from top to bottom. You fast forward to the songs you like from the album, but he don't make albums that you play and just let listen. There's nothing theatric about his music.
That's why the bars when he said, I like Drake when he plays melodies. I don't like Drake when he's trying to act tough. That's why that shit hit so hard. Because basically he's trying to say Drake is a play artist.
Right.
I like you when you give me play music and I'm in a play mood. But don't come over here and try to be serious and eat at the big boys table. Because let's be honest, do dogs eat at the master's table? That's basically what he's trying to say.
Nah, man.
Dogs wait until the master's done eating and then he feeds the dogs the scraps.
Yeah, he feeds the dog the scraps. Or the dog at their own doggy food.
Yep.
Dogs don't sit at the table and eat big steaks at the table.
Yep.
Not in no black house, they don't. You know what I mean? I don't know what they do in white people's house. They might sit at the table at a white person's house and eat a big ass steak at the table. But at a black person's house, dogs don't go in the kitchen or be nowhere near the dining room where niggas eating.
Yep.
They go eat their food off in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They kibbles and bits. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, press 3 if y'all fucking agree, man.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree.
I should see nothing but threes. I should see nothing but threes going down, man. I should see nothing but threes. Threes.
Right. You're absolutely right about the threes going down. Threes.
Nothing stop y'all from pressing the 3, man. See, I can't press it no more, man. Y'all don't know what that do for the channel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what that do for the channel. Just do it for the niggas, man. While y'all in here, you know, you can't hit the like. It's not like Instagram. Instagram, they hit the like the whole time that somebody on live to say that they fucking with it. You can't do that here. So I need y'all to spam 3. Just hit the 3 the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
And the like should match the number of people that's in here.
It should.
It should.
But one thing I realize is a lot of niggas hate to admit that they like something. They hate to admit that they'll like it, they'll tune in. Some niggas will donate before they hit the like button. Some niggas hate to admit that they actually like something.
So what you trying to say is they have a Drake mindset?
Some niggas do.
Because like let's be honest, Drake hates to admit the fact that he actually likes Kendrick Lamar.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Because the person, you have to understand, hate is love packaged behind the secret realm of making you think it's the lack thereof.
Right,
Because when you are so against someone, it's because you see something in that person that you want to mimic. You see something in that person that reflects you by your nature and by your behavior. And in all essence, you feel in some type of way, and you feel that, you may not want to deal with that person from that standpoint, all because of the simple fact that you think that that person doesn't reflect you, but in actuality, that person reflects you at the highest levels. And I
and
think
what,
that's what Drake is going through right now. He wished that he could have the ability that Kendrick Lamar has, but since he can't have it, he dissed it. I mean, shit, Jay-Z has said that about Nas, that there's a lot of elements of Nas that he wished that he had.
right,
So, but you know what I like about Jay-Z? Jay-Z was open and frank about it and admitted it. So he just said, you know what? Since I'm gonna be honest and about it, I'm gonna still dish you. But at least he told the world that this was the reality of it, and that's
right,
why people respected Jay for it because he admitted that. The problem with Drake is Drake don't want to admit what the obvious is, and we know the obvious is he is a Kendrick Lamar stan,
right,
and that's why I can't wait for the next disc because I think the next disc, when Kendrick Lamar responds, he's basically gonna say, "You are my stan." You get what I'm saying?
right. And one thing I realize is coming to your platform and dealing with you and doing
Mhm.
these live streams, you have a lot of haters. They tune in. Marathon Man 92 sent another 4.99. Appreciate you, bro.
Salute to
They
you, man.
tune in, but they
Hmm.
refuse to donate. They refuse
Yep.
to like. They refuse to comment. They just
Yep.
sit here and wait to see something that they hate, that they can hate
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
You attract a lot of haters, bro. Because the people in your
Listen.
channel, it costs nothing for them to hit three
Hmm.
if they hear something that they like.
But it ain't just me, man. Because if it was just me, you have to understand. Um, before you showed up, if I'm being honest, um, before you showed up on the scene, it would, I was getting some marginal success with that, if that makes sense. Where I was getting even more donations. I think it's a two-headed monster. They have a disdain for me, no doubt about that. But I think that they equally have that same disdain for you. It's like a two-headed monster, and that creates a disassociation and it creates a distinction to where they're like, oh man, every time we hear these guys, they either gonna keep the foot on our necks or they're gonna separate the weak from the strong. Everybody don't want to feel like they're getting separated from the weak from the strong every time. But that's your personality. Your personality is instinctive that you have to separate the weak from the strong. And you have
But
to understand people don't want to feel that every time.
the crazy thing about it is nobody's making these niggas come on the live streams.
But you have to
That's why I
understand
say
what
that
people
they. That's what I'm
you
saying.
have to
They
understand what
haters.
people are addicted to the very thing that they hate. I don't know what it is about that, man. They're just addicted to it. So that's why that old saying where they say if you don't have no haters, you ain't doing nothing right. I actually welcome this because it's telling me that I'm doing something right every single time. And it's telling you that you're doing something right every single time. But we have a situation where we do get a breakthrough moment. Because today, honestly, if we didn't go live with this one, then based on what we made on the last live, it would have been like a whatever. But today became a respectable day because we did another live.
Mm-hmm.
So in all essence, this live had its meaning. It had sense because it did bring some more donations. So I'm thankful for that
Facts.
because of the fact that we could have just ended the way we did with the last live stream, but this one right
Mm-hmm.
here brought some more. So um, no matter how much people hate on you, and no matter how much people have anything negative to say against you, God's work is still going to prevail, and God's soldiers are still going to win all out, man. That's just the way it works. So Kendrick Lamar dealing with a Drake fan base that is astronomically annoying, he's still gonna prevail because he's basically operating against the machine. And when you operate against the machine, this is where you can do over 5 million in just 8 hours. This is where you
Mm-hmm.
can break the most records for the most views on YouTube and have that in the Guinness Book of World Records. Now he is basically in Guinness Books of World Records right now. Because the thing about Guinness Book of World Records, they have to keep their record book open because records are always getting broken. And now he's part of that record book
Facts.
for a guy who's supposedly
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be anti or polarized against the system. Well, guess what you got to do? You got to, even if you hesitate to do that, you got to go into that book and you got to certify him. So I'm saying that to contextualize back to the donation element, it don't matter if these guys want to come in and hate. Guess what? They still gonna ultimately have to donate, and that's why we get a Marathon Man 92 that donate $4.99 and then $4.99, and then we also got the $5 that came to us. So the donations, regardless if it's hesitant, regardless if there's a pause, ultimately it has to happen. So I'm saying that to say this: press 3 if you motherfucking agree. We have the Cash App up, money sign that Heat and that Fire, or money sign Ace Money Chai. What else you want to say, Ross?
The bro at 6.7 million. The
Damn.
bro. In the time we were talking, he jumped 1.7 million.
Sheesh. And
This
that's
shit
in a
is
9-hour span. That's fucking crazy, man.
this shit is spreading like wildfire, man.
Damn.
This shit is spreading like wildfire, man. But that's what happens. The people have been starved from the truth. They're
Mm-hmm.
starving for real lyrics, man. They've been, you gotta understand, man. They've been malnourished, kept away from real lyrics for so long that now the masses are doing their own research. They're looking this shit up. Like I tell you, this shit is not over. This is just the first day. It
Yep.
ain't been 24 hours yet.
You gotta understand how these things work. You need a 7-day turnaround.
Right. This ain't been 24 hours yet. Every day, people are only getting just a small portion of the disc every day because the people are not used to lyrics. They've been listening to Sexy
Mm-hmm.
Red. They've been listening to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, and I'm talking about shit. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're getting real lyrics, it's gonna take them a while to get it. But once they get it, it's gonna be like viral every day. It's gonna be a portion. There's gonna be some type of viral every day because people are gonna come back and talk about it. Come back and talk about it. Like this shit is gonna be like the gift that keep on giving.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he did, and that's why he could be in his hoodie enjoying himself, because he know that he gave what they call a savant's performance.
Fact.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, this was so instrumental to the game of hip hop, and it needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of him, man. If all else, if nothing else, I'm proud of the man.
Facts. Because he could have just played the Kendrick. He could have just played the Drake game, put out another song with some disses in it,
Mm-hmm.
like Drake did. Drake went for the hit, and didn't even. He got a decent hit. It ranked 19 on the Billboard,
Mm-hmm.
but he went for the hit when he should have been going for the diss.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Lamar went for the diss and ended up getting a hit at the same time.
Yep.
And this is something that's all bars.
Yep.
This ain't no song. This nigga talking his shit from the time it starts to the time it ends.
Yep.
I'm
It's
looking forward.
basically hip hop. That's what it is.
I'm looking forward to how big this song going to be because Kendrick Lamar, he went and released this shit as a single. I'm looking so far. If this shit debuts in the top 10,
Mm-hmm.
Drake's fan base is gonna be crushed because that's all they lean their head on is Billboard charts. Kind of like LeBron James fans. All they lean their head on is stats. That's all they lean in numbers. Numbers don't mean nothing without the performance. There's so many players who got numbers, but if you wasn't around to see what they did, you don't know what those numbers mean. I was around to see Kobe's numbers, Michael Jordan's numbers, Isaiah Thomas. Man, I realized all numbers aren't alike. Isaiah Thomas had to retire in 10 years. His numbers ain't good like everybody else's. But Isaiah Thomas had a hell of a career.
Yep.
So you can't always put everything in numbers. He had in those 10 years, that he made a lot of noise in them 10 years and knocked off a lot of people. He's the only person that could say, I knocked off Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Kareem. He the only nigga that can say that. In the NBA history, he the only person that can say he knocked off all those people.
Yep.
Well, he had a hell of a career. But if you just look at the numbers, you'll be like, oh, he was a decent point guard. You know what I mean? Because you didn't see it. So numbers ain't everything. I've been around for Drake's whole career. I realize Drake is a good talent, but those platinum singles don't compare to Kendrick Lamar's classic albums, Kanye West's classic albums. You know what I'm saying? And now you dealing with a nigga who is half artist, half rapper. Kanye is all artist that can rap. Kendrick is half artist, half MC. You dealing with the wrong nigga trying to still act like you still dealing with Kanye. The shit didn't work with Kanye. You couldn't get rid of Kanye, and Kanye is not even an MC like that. How the fuck you would get rid of Kendrick doing the same antics? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
That was well placed on what you said, and it was well said, because the bottom line that people have to understand is everything nowadays is all about platform. See, there was a time where in music it was about how you did your diss and the level of diss, and basically how the diss stands out in the ranks, in the annals of things, right? That's what that used to be about. But in all honesty, in all essence, it's not even about that right now. What it's about is how you did what you did and what platform you did it on. And when you're able to do something on a platform of YouTube's magnitude, which is the biggest platform because people stream more than they do anything else, you've won.
Yep.
You've won. I mean, there's just no way around it. You've won. And people need to understand that. He basically went on the biggest social media platform, i.e. YouTube, and streamed. Was it a video? No, it was audio. But because of who he is and because of his namesake, he was able to pull it off. And the reason why his resonates more is because of the fact that he's big, and he has a big following. If this was a niche artist that did this, it would feel good. They would talk about it, but they would say, he's still not big enough to be able to impact. And that's why Pusha T, even though his stuff was relevant and it was nice for what it was, it didn't hit the way it was supposed to hit. And the reason for that was because of the fact that he's a niche artist, whereas Kendrick Lamar is not niche.
Not at all.
Some can say that internationally he is known. And for that puts him in a good stratosphere, because it puts him in an area to where he can govern music and he can be able to say things that's going to create either a high magnitude of polarization, or it's going to be something that people are just going to think is thought-provoking. And it just so happens that he gave a combination of both. And that's why you got people like, YNW Melly feeling some type of way, both being honored and appalled at the diss. Because,
Right.
the diss the diss put him in a position to where he's being dissed himself.
Right.
But at the time, it's current events and it's applicable to Drake's situation.
Right. The thing people gotta understand about bro is bro fighting for his life in a murder case.
Yep.
So he can't say that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, kill him, niggas. He gotta say like, okay, that's what's up. You shouted me out, but I'm appalled by that shit because I ain't no murderer. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
gotta say that shit.
he has to give the status quo.
Right? What the fuck is he gonna say? Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking. That's what I would have did. You can't say that because
Exactly.
he's actually fighting a murder.
Yep. It would look bad if he tries to say something like that. So he has no choice but to leave things as is, if that makes sense. So right now, I just feel like this is the beginning, because I think what I think is going to happen is I think Drake's going to fall into the mentality where he's going to feel that he has to respond, and then I think the next diss that Kendrick does after that is going to be the nail in the coffin. Because now he's going to be like, oh, okay, I thought I finished you. You didn't get finished. Okay, now we're gonna up the ante, and once we up the ante, now I'm really gonna finish you right now. That's why I say he should give up and leave it be, because he's only getting just a slither of things to come. A smart person knows when they're beat.
And I think because the way he acted after he dropped this disc, he was way too anxious after he dropped this disc, and he was just so full of anxiety that he was begging Kendrick to respond. Now, even though he know that he's beat, he has to respond because of how he was carrying on. You know what I'm saying? It's how you.
Like I said, this is a calculated thing that he's been wanting to do for a very long time. It was very calculated. He's been wanting to say that I have someone of Kendrick Lamar's resume as someone that I body, because by him having something like that under his belt, it justifies him as an artist.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just don't work that way.
There's just no two ways around it. It justifies him as an artist. And Kendrick Lamar knows that. And Kendrick Lamar's like, nah, at my level and at my magnitude, I'm not going to be the one that you body. That's not going to happen over here.
Right. But yeah, man. This been another one for the fucking books, man.
Yep. As always.
Another one for the books, man. If we could have got more engagement, you know, maybe we'd be here longer, but after a while, when things start to simmer down, you have to know when to bow out.
Exactly.
I said all I had to say. What about you, bro?
I said everything I had to say, man. And like you said, it was a great live. We performed at the highest levels, and we did what we were supposed to do, man. When it's all said and done, you guys have the Cash App up. If anybody wants to send any more donations, the Cash App is available. Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. And we appreciate everyone that has showed up and showed out.
Facts.
All right, that's all I have to say, man. It's been real. It's been easy. Peace.
Peace.